and welcome to the Enchantress Society with Tia Johnson, a place where you get to be you, where you get to unlock your magic in a sacred and judgment-free zone. The Enchantress Society is your witchy sisterhood of enchanting women who guides and supports you along your spiritual journey from the mundane to the magical. I invite you to sit for a spell as I interview guests and spill the spiritual tea on how we can create the magical life we deserve. Hello there, and here we are. We are at Lilith. And I've been enjoying this series because especially with Does Lilith episode when I was doing, well, actually more research because I did research. I did research on Lilith for my first book. So this was a little bit of a refresher, and I could just feel her energy behind me and guiding me as I'm pulling up websites and figuring out which one to read from first. So it's just so interesting the energies that shift when I talk about from one goddess to the next. So if you haven't listened to the previous episodes, please do. It is, or they are Freya, Hecate, and the Morgan. So if you are new to this Dark Goddess series, here's the background. When you see dark goddesses, whether it's on a blog, someone's talking about on YouTube, or here, the meaning behind that is due to the goddesses who work in realms that have to do with more of the more dense, intense work that are in really the shadows, the darkness. So death and transformation, protection, rebirth, prophecy, and shadow work. Even transformation, you may be thinking, well, how is that dark? Well, think about the example with the caterpillar. The caterpillar goes in the cocoon and is dark, is transforming into a butterfly. We are little, what do you call it? I guess like little embryos inside our mom's belly till we become a child, and we're in darkness the entire time, and we're born, right? And there was light. So yeah, there are times of darkness during transformation. These are the goddesses that run towards the issue, not from it. And the darkness isn't a bad thing. Sometimes it's just things that we have yet to discover about ourselves. And it could be also things that we suppress. Okay. Now, this doesn't mean that other goddesses who work with healing or self-love or money and things like that aren't doing good, hard, deep work. It's just that some topics are better received than others. It's a little bit easier to talk about self-love than it is to talk about ending friendships or a career or a relationship, the death of a friendship, the death of a relationship, or the transformation that needs to happen in order for you to level up. It's a little bit harder for some people to digest that, and some people to talk about that, but it's easier to talk about saving $10 or $20 or $100. It's a little bit easier to talk about self-love as the form of brunch, like that cookie cutter, self-love is a little bit lighthearted, but self-love can get deep. It can be triggering, right? Talking about money and money magic. There's the mindset behind that too, right? So that can be deep, but it's just easier and it's more well received to talk about that than to deal with shadow work regarding sex and sexuality and things like that. So that's the behind the scenes. It has nothing to do with light and dark magic. That's not real. There's no such thing as black and white magic. It's made up. Magic is just what it is. It's the people who use it that make it go either way, but that's not real magic. There's no light or dark magic. Okay. So yeah, enough about that. All right, so we have Lilith here, and Lilith pretty much is a badass. All right, so we're going to talk about a little bit about who she is, why we should work with her, her associations, and of course, an oracle card. So, from this one blog, and I'm going to post a link, and all my resources will be linked in the description. And I love the opening sentences here. So this is on otherworldlyoracle.com/Lilith Goddess. And it's Lilith, Goddess of the Night, 13 ways to work with her wild energy. Lilith, Goddess of the Night, Screech Owl, Queen of Vampires. But is this ancient deity a demon, succubus, or an empowering enchantress? I'm going to say empowering enchantress. What an opening to describe Lilith. Love it. It goes on to state hers is a name with many interpretations, stories, and misconceptions, but one that permeates pagan culture. All right, who is Lilith of Witches? Her true origins they have here are shrouded in mystery. And it states here only those who work with her energy intimately truly come to understand who she is. Okay. And it says she is a goddess. This is a goddess, this powerful, only revealed a small portion of her innate glory. Got it. Got it. Got it. So here's what I remember from my research was that Lilith was made as an equal to Adam, or as you know, Eve was made from his womb. And Adam wanted her to be submissive in sex. She did not. And they got her kicked out of Eden. I know that sounds extreme, but you know, extreme things happen and it's crazy. So she got demonized over the years, like many strong, powerful women. She, like the other dark goddesses, are very much aware of who they are. She's aware of who she is. And in being aware, she is very in tune with her sexuality. All right. She is in tune with her sexuality. And no one is going to tell her otherwise. and within that, she understands the power of her sexuality. And that's where the fear comes in. And that's where the demonization begins. And this is why I've been stressing throughout this whole series is that this is the time where you develop a thick skin. Okay. We're not going to live by other people's rules. If she watered herself down, who is she living for? She's living for someone else, and that person gets to live their life. So Adam gets to live his life, and then she has to live her life according to his rules. So that's his life. So he gets two lives in the same. No, 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 no. All right. So on this other website, journey into the goddess wordpress.com. I don't know why that was so difficult for me to pronounce. Oh my goodness. So anyway, I love this. Lilith's themes are freedom, courage, playfulness, passion, pleasure, and sexuality. Her symbol is an apple. It's also a snake. In Hebrew legends, Lilith is a dangerously beautiful goddess who refuses to subordinate herself to Adam. Mm-hmm. She is that raw energy, people. She knows she was made as an equal. So she is not going to be treated as less than, as anything other than. It just wouldn't even make any sense. So back to otherworldlyoracle.com. Got a Lilith, goddess of wild freedom. And here's another reason why I love this too. These are reminders. These are reminders for us. Okay. Whether you're just starting out, you're the new, which new spiritual person on the block, or you're more well versed in the magical arts, occultism, all that. It's either going to be a kind reminder to you or a new lesson for you to learn. Women aren't meant to be one dimensional. Okay. That's why I love the goddess of wild freedom stated here. And this wild woman aspect that's coming out with these dark goddesses. We are hurricanes. We are the sun. We are the moon. We are the ocean. We have all these emotions and all these powers and more. So we need to embrace that wild freedom as it shows up for us. Now, I'm not saying to go, throw all your responsibilities out the window. No, what I'm saying is, what's that raw energy within? Are you making sure that you are receiving pleasure? Are you making sure that you are taking your stances, that you are saying no to things that you want to say no to, that you believe in yourself in this process, no matter what people say about you? Those are the questions that we need to be thinking about as we work with Lilith. All right. It states here, to many, Lilith is considered a demon, a woman of the darkness who denied God's rules and was cast out the Garden of Eden because of it. She then became a mother to demons, and to some, it is believed she was the first vampire. But is any of this true? They're asking about Lilith. All right, and then it talked about her not wanting Adam to dominate her, and old school, even some old school women would think like, oh my God, she's disobeying her husband. No, but this is more like, you know what? Go you. Someone is trying to dominate you. They're not showing you love and respect. They're trying to dominate you. No. So she stands for liberation, wild freedom, equality, passion, and pleasure. It's not dark, but it's a taboo, right? So that's why it gets tossed under the dark, goddess section. So on the goddesscircle.net, it explains she is the Sumerian queen of heaven. And over time, she was integrated with the goddess Inanna, which is interesting because she's the last goddess on this journey, this Dark Goddess series. And it states here that Lilith, in time, her stories crafted her as the handmaiden of Inanna, and her symbols are the dark moon and screeching owl. As I said earlier, the snake, the apple. All right. Lilith has a power that is raw energy, with the ability to affect energies of the earth, of the storms, and even a seductress of men for sacred rituals and practices. So, sex magic, hello. Uh, okay, so she brings us the energy of speaking our truth and living fully embodied in our own mysteries, unapologetically and proudly. Call upon her when you're needing powerful aid to live your truth, when you are wishing to take back your power and embody your central essence and fullness. All right. And her candle colors are green, red, and black. So you can wear green, red, and black to channel Lilith. All right. So, there are many, many reasons to work with Lilith. All right. You want to dive into your sensuality, your pleasure, your passion, work with her. And it doesn't always have to be physical. And I say this because I read it was so many years ago. I did a case study and I don't remember what it was about at this point. But basically, it was like the psychology of men versus women, and men are more what's the word I'm looking for here? Visual people, where women are more mental people, meaning this is why you see magazines, like Sports Illustrated or, other magazines that have women up front, like, more of a display of something that's showing, femininity or a little bit of sexuality behind it. Whereas women, you might see at the checkout line a book that has to do with, a secret lover or a vampire lover. It's a book that she's reading and, her mind's going off to another place, right? Where the guy visually, he's looking at, the women in the magazines are like, oh man, look at that, so it's two totally different ways to attract people. So what I'm saying here is with Lilith, it could be the foods that you eat. You can, Google aphrodisiacs, well, that's named after goddess Aphrodite. Side note, I love when I learn the origins of things. This is why I love learning magic history, because there are so many words we use that are rooted in paganism and other old lifestyles, religions. And I love to be able to prove the mean muggles wrong. When I say mean muggles, meaning the mean ones that berate, which is just people in the spiritual community that they try to bully them or say, oh, that's devil work. And it's just like, cinnamon is an aphrodisiac. And when you say things like, oh, me and the wife had strawberries, they say it's an aphrodisiac, you are celebrating goddess Aphrodite. It's literally named after her. So, congratulations. You study old ways. Or when they go, yay, it's Friday. It's like, oh, you mean Freya's day? Because Friday's named after Freya. So you're honoring Freya when you have sex on a Friday, or you just celebrate that as Friday. You're also honoring Freya. Congratulations. So I take little pleasures in that. But back coming full circle, right? For you, being sensual, maybe writing a poem to your lover. It may be writing a self-love note to yourself, spraying a little perfume on it, folding up the letter, sealing it in an envelope. So when your lover opens it, it smells good. Maybe put some rose petals in the envelope, not glitter, because some people are just like, no, glitter gets everywhere and I can't pick it up. I actually love glitter, so I don't care when I can't pick up glitter. I love it. So that's why I said a couple of petals, flower petals, because, you could pick those up easier than glitter, but I'm all for being glitter bombed. That's just me, whatever. Uh, things like that. All right. Work with Lilith if you want to dive more into your sexuality, when you want to dive more into your raw energy, when you want to understand the life that you truly want to live, regardless of what people are going to think. That some of the happiest people I have come across in my life are people who truly do not care about what those who do not matter in their life say, think, or feel. Right? Those who do matter in their life, they take into consideration their thoughts, their feelings, and so forth. But they don't have time getting caught up in what a bunch of haters are saying, or people who just don't get it. And it's fine if someone doesn't get what you're doing, but what's not fine is the disrespect that comes with it. They don't get to disrespect you, second guess what you're doing, be passive aggressive and all that. They should just be like, you know what? I wish you luck. I don't understand it. I don't get it, but it seems like it's making you happy, and you're not getting hurt. No one's getting hurt. That's what it should be like. But unfortunately, it's not the case. And we need backup at times. Even the best of warriors need backup at times. Okay. So called upon goddess Lilith for a little backup, for that little boost of confidence to buy that sexy lingerie or to try that new thing or to even Google, what does this mean? Sometimes, people get worried like, oh no, it's going to pop up in my history. You can delete your history. Okay. Oh my God. And I'm not laughing in a way of like, haha, being smart. It's just that, the thought of deleting history it's just like a funny concept to me. Like you just delete your history. Like who would have thought 1 year we would technology would let us delete history? That's what I'm saying. Just the thought of deleting history. That's just so crazy to me. But yeah, so to give yourself that courage because it is liberating when we allow because okay, so sexual energy is raw energy. Okay. It's connected to our lower chakras. And when we are connected, when we are grounded, we can elevate even quicker. Right. So that's why sex magic is so powerful because we're even more connected. And imagine that raw energy and that has been let out maybe a little bit or not at all. Imagine that beautiful, raw, sexual magic energy unleashed to help you with manifestation, to help you with your desires, to help you understand things clearly, to help you with whatever the case may be. To maybe just even enjoy sex more. I just imagine that. Okay. So she would be great to work with for sex magic. But again, like with all the other dark goddesses, be ready to do the work. This isn't a time to, kind of sort of like, no, this is you discovering more about yourself. So just take your time, right? Take your time when you're doing it. There's literally no need to rush. And this is coming from someone who's impatient. But this is not a time to give up on yourself. You didn't come this far to come this far, right? So understand your sexual energy, your sensual energy, what you take pleasure in, any playfulness that needs to happen. I'm not just talking about adult playfulness. I'm also talking about that playfulness that just takes your mind off of things, like something that's just so simple and fun, like playing tag or just uh an escape room, throwing axes, what's another thing, going skating, swimming, dancing, something that's playful and lighthearted, a fun game, like Candyland. I mean, I'm a grown woman and I still love Candyland. Like it's just one of those things, you know. Focus on the playfulness, lightheartedness. You don't want to be so grounded that you're this person carrying this extra energetic weight. This dense person that's just like, dum dum dum, just walking around this heavy energy. We need that playfulness, okay? That just shakes up the room. It's literally equivalent to a party that's dull playing dull music and someone who starts playing a little upbeat music and people start dancing. It just shakes things up a little bit. Playfulness just shakes up the mood. It shifts the energy. And that's also what helps us. The more fun you're having, the more pleasure you're partaking in, the more you are creating your desirable world that no one can really mess with, because that's really the plan, is to create that magical life we desire. And yeah, our paths will cross with other people, and some people are going to disagree with our lifestyles and things like that. And we'll address that. And sometimes addressing that happens so someone else can use that as their backup. That's what I learned too. When I think about some of the rude people and things that happen and I talk about it, I think, you know what? Yeah, I had to be the strong person to, or someone had to be the strong person to go through that. So they can talk about how they went through that to help someone else who's going through it. Okay. All right. So we pretty much got her background and why we should work with her together or work with her. Um let's get to the oracle card. I'm just looking at it's just it's this blogger is so well written about her. Like I just love it. Okay. All right. Let's go. Cause also talking about her as a vampire. And I have you here all day because it's so well written. So the oracle card I pulled is animals. And what I love about this is that this throughout most of this episode, I've been seeing raw energy. Throughout the series, I've been seeing this is real raw energy, this energy, this energy, this energy. A lot of times people also say animalistic energies. And so when I pulled this card, there were two main things that came from this. One was your animalistic nature. Okay, like what is your raw nature? What are your instincts? Do you listen to your instincts? Do you follow through? How are you listening to yourself? Are you listening to yourself? Because that's the animalistic, that raw, that bare bone energy. Very intuitive, in tune to your environment, but also you allow that raw energy to exist. Right. But you also have control over it. It's not, this energy that just does its own thing and gets crazy out of whack because we don't want that. Then there's the animal that you're showing up in as like in your life, the animal that you're showing up in throughout your life, showing up as in your life. For example, are you the wolf in your life in some areas? Are you like a bear? Are you like a bull? Are you like a cat? Like, how are you reacting, acting, or maybe not acting in your life based on an animal? Because there are some animal spirits that needs to be channeled to also help you with this. So if you notice, a lot of the goddesses have an animal companion. Hecate has the three-headed dog, the hellhounds. Um, what is it? Lilith has the snake. What the Freya has the cats, and so I think the Morgan had what the crows or the ravens. So each goddess has her go-to animal or animals. Okay, and those animals do her bidding, so forth. Now, this could be a great time for you to call on your familiar, right? To send that request out there, that you are calling upon that. Now is a great time to understand, like I said, are you the wolf in some areas in your life? And you have to define what those animals mean to you. What does a rabbit mean to you? So first ask yourself how I'm showing up in my life regarding finances, relationship, my career, to myself, to my family, to my friends, okay? And when you think about maybe your career, maybe you're, as the saying goes, you're like a dog without a bone, or a dog with a bone, right? You're focused on this promotion. Promotions are coming up, so you're doing everything in your power. Okay, so you're like a dog with a bone, but also are you also loyal to the company, or do you just want that promotion? If you just want that promotion, then okay, what's your 5-year plan? You see what I'm saying? It's the follow-up questions. This is what I do too when I work with my clients is, okay, this is how the mundane and the magical work together. We have that saying, this is how you are explaining yourself at work. You're like a dog with a bone. You're there and you're not letting go. Now, if you are loyal like a dog, right, to the company, then what's your plan with that? Or if you're loyal to yourself, what's your plan with that? Okay, so it's great to apply for the promotion because you're going to get extra money, but what does that extra money mean for you? That also is part of manifestation, is to visualize and feel and give it an assignment. Oh yes, I really want to hit this lotto because I want to take care of my family. I want to look out for my best friend. And I want to start some investments. Like I know exactly what I want to do with the money. It makes it more real. Okay. Now, maybe with relationships, you're more like a cat. Okay. Maybe you are not as affectionate as you need to be. And it's causing a little friction. Okay. Because people don't know where your heart and your head are completely. And they're having some second guesses about their relationship, right? So, and I know it's not all cats. I know some cats are loving and all that jazz. I know. I met a cat that was the most loving cat, purred all the time, just beautiful. But generally speaking, cats come off as a bit cold. Where dogs are more like, "Oh my God, I love you so much. Where have you been? Oh my God, you're home." Okay, so that's what I'm saying here. Ask yourself, and so get a sheet of paper and write down these categories: finances, love life, friendships, and you can even write, friendships with your top 3 or 5 friends, career, relationship with self, write all that out. And then, okay, I feel like I am a dog with my business. I'm loyal, but they don't really appreciate me. So maybe I need to be more loyal to myself and work on an exit strategy, right? Have another job that hire me, whatever the case may be. Finances, maybe you are like a fish and you're going with the flow and it's really working out for you. So you want to keep this going. You want to keep the water, filled to the brim there, right? So, just take note of that. That's what this is saying, because each category needs its energy. So you can also charge yourself up through sexual magic, sexual energy. And if you can do that, or that's one of the ways you choose to, get charged up or shift your energy and so forth, it's going to filter over those areas of your life. It just will. All right, sexual energy is extremely connected to manifestation, prosperity, abundance. So whenever you are thinking about abundance and prosperity, you can include sex magic if you want to. You can ask Lilith to step in and help you with living your truth regarding those areas in your life. So you can ask her to help you with sex magic or with living your truth, among other things. All right. So that's the reading, to focus on the animalistic, your raw nature, and how you are showing up as different animals in different areas in your life and what that means for you going forward. But again, is how you define an animal. You might think a dog is something bad, like, oh, he talked about her like a dog. So maybe you won't use a dog, you might use something else. All right. So that's what I have for you. Just making sure I have everything I covered: associations, how ways we can work with her. You can wear the goddess colors, you can have an altar. You can read about her. You can watch videos on YouTube about her. So many ways, so many ways. Air magic, because she's associated with the element of air. She's known as a spirit of wind. So you can do some air magic, storm magic. You can look up her symbols and meditate by looking at her symbols. You can work on moon magic, with the dark moon, since she's a dark goddess. So many ways. Watch vampire movies, sex magic, of course, ritual magic, and the list goes on. All right. So, Enchantress, I am sending you lots of love, many blessings. I'm rooting for you. Make sure you take care of yourself. Until next time.
Thank you so much for tuning in, Magical One. Let's keep in touch. Join the VIP email list by going to tiamariejohnson.com. And as always, I'm sending you lots of love, many blessings. I'm rooting for you. And remember to be kind to yourself. Until next time.